So we got this 4020 is leaking hydraulic oil out of the steering valve. We're gonna get her jacked up, pull the front end off, pull the weights off. Then I think we can pull that frame rail off on the other side and probably get to that steering valve. All right, we got the weights off. They're off both sides here. Now we're gonna pull the front end off, this bolt right here. I already took one out here. There's two in the back as well, down right there. And there's one more on this side. And then we got the steering bolts, which I don't know if you can see them there, but half of them are out already, so. We're just getting ready to pull this out of here. We got one more bolt holding in on this one on the other side, just to keep everything lined up. And we're gonna slide it out with the skid steer. So we got the front end off. You can see how we got her blocked up here. We're gonna take these bolts out, the four up here that are for the steering valve, these two for the side of the motor, and these two here for the back of or for the front of the motor. We're gonna pull that side frame rail off. All right, so we got all the bolts out. These top bolts all have to come out, including the one in the radiator. And the side bolts all do. I'm not sure if we're quite there yet, but I got one bolt just hanging out there. I think that should be it to get that side frame rail off. We got the frame rail off now. Just laying right here on the ground. And you can see we're right where we want to be at here. Right by that steering valve. So I'm actually gonna start it up and see if I can see where it's leaking. See if it's something simple, or I'm guessing it's probably leaking right out of that shaft or something stupid that requires the whole thing to be rebuilt. So it's actually leaking right around here. So that requires the full thing to be tore apart, of course. Not just some nice line or something that would have been leaking. That would have been nice. But no, it requires the full tear down. All right, I think I found our problem. Some of these are just, I put the socket on them and they're just finger tight. So I think they've come loose over the years here. Even that one's loose, so I'm just gonna go around them, and we got to mark where the shaft is at, where this housing is versus the outside housing, so that it stays in time. But we're just gonna try to replace that big seal on the bottom. So we got the main shaft and the main gear off. It was just that housing on the bottom there. And we're gonna pull this clip out, and then we got a new seal. Here's the part number for it. That'll go in the bottom there after we get everything cleaned up. So there's this snap ring on here, and then there's a bearing, and then there's a seal. Okay, you can definitely see our problem here. Here's our seal on the bottom, and there's a big chunk taken out of it. You can see that that's definitely what our problem was. So here's the new seal right here. That's the one. We're gonna push that one out and install the new one. All right, we got it all put together. New seal on here, that was definitely the problem. You can see the bolts were too long on the front end at one point and rode into the seal, put a nice ring into it. So that definitely ruined it. All right, got it back together, got the snap ring in, bearing, and got the new seal on. And we're just gonna set her back up inside. So we got it put back up in there. And you can see I made a mark on here to time it when I took it apart, but there's also timing marks on here. You can see there's a groove in there, and if you turn it all the way one way, it'll line up with this mark. So if you would start out by just turning it all the way to the left or to the right, then you could use the factory timing marks instead of making your own. Either way, it's important to make sure you have it timed, put in the same way it was when you took it out. Alright, we just tested it, turned the steering wheel both ways, and it's not leaking even with it running. So we got the side frame rail back on, and we actually would not have had to take it off if I would have known that the bottom seal was what was the problem. Otherwise, in order to replace the seals on the actual gears, you would have had to have had it off. So for this one, it was fine. I did put it back on, and now we're just gonna set the front end back under it. Right now we've got it jacked up, so it's sitting on the front of the oil pan and blocked up. So we just got the front end slid back under it. It's a little bit high. We got it blocked up, and I got one bolt in on that side, and then I got this one kind of started, so that should hold it in place pretty decent anyway, so that we can pull the skid steer back out, and then I'll put a jack onto the front here and just let it down slowly, slide it around as I need to. We got the front end on now. Got everything, put the side shields on. We're just, there was one injector that was leaking here a little bit. You can see there's some spray there. So I don't know if you can see it in there or not, but we put a new copper washer on. Got that dried up, and we got her all put back together. Just started it, and no oil leaks, and the fuel's not leaking out of the injector anymore. So we're gonna grab the hood here that's been sitting for a while. You can see the dust and stuff on it. We're gonna put her back together. So we got her all put back together. I don't have the weights on the front of it yet. That's the only thing got to put together. We're gonna take it out and try it. I would guess I have probably 15 hours in repair. Probably should be half that if you were a good mechanic. But my labor's not worth anything, so I guess we'll find that out here in a little bit. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button below. And if you want to see more videos like this come up in your feed, please subscribe to our channel. And if you want to find out when our next video comes out every week, hit that notification bell below, and that'll send you a notification when our next video comes out, which we try to send them out every week. Thanks a lot for learning more about our farm, and we sure appreciate it.